let the good times roll.
It took years of hard work, saving and extremely frugal living, but 2 years ago my husband Urian and I purchased our first farm, a 78-hectare dairy farm in the North Island of New Zealand that we run with our 2 young boys, Anthony and Adam. The cows on this farm are grazed outside 365 days of the year and are milked from August through until the end of May. It was the last few days of our winter holiday period and we had 128 cows that were due to start calving on the 1st of August. 95 is a twin.
That's that one, the twin.
No, this one here.
There.
Yeah, the black and white one. She's a whiskey twin.
Oh, she don't make some twins.
I don't know if she'll make twins herself, but she's got a twin sister in here somewhere. Just like your twins, Tractor Ted and Rooster. And like Min's twins, remember? She's having twins.
Oh, yes.
Very exciting.
So some cows don't have twins, and some mums don't have some twins.
Just one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better if they just have one, otherwise it could be a pretty big job to have twins. So it would be my preference that they just have one, but if they have twins then we'll just have to look after them. Maybe put them on once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That can work too.
Yeah, we can. I'll be a once-a-day farmer.
Once the springers were fed and checked, we headed back to the shed to get the calf pen set up, so we weren't caught out playing catch-up when the calves started arriving.
The way you're moving, it's got me moving my own feet. The greatest feeling that I could ever dare to dream is you forever moving next to me. Let's not waste time, oh, take this slow. We've got miles behind us, but miles to go. So let's just break this down to the simplest truth. You and I as one will always be better than two. The leaves ain't waiting, their colors changing like the times. Tearing down.
Calving seasonally means we only need designated calf shed space from August through until the middle of October. We use a purpose-built temporary pen system that can be easily assembled at the beginning of calving and stowed away once we have finished. This gives us full use of the shed for the other 9 months of the year. I'm not sure how well this system would work with larger numbers, but for us it works brilliantly. The calves start off in the small pens at the front, and as they get the knack of feeding from the straw feeders, they move through to the larger pens. For the first 10 days we offer ad-lib milk to the young calves. We find it gets them up and growing really quickly, which allows us to put them outside as soon as possible. Right, these two are going pretty well. And are they just having big fun, are they? Hey, no bunting. Hey!
I'll do somebody on this one.
No, don't do any bunting. They've got to concentrate on doing their feeding so that they can get the knack of drinking out of this drum. There was a cow calving and I was getting very excited to see how our big Belgian blue experiment would pan out. It is always nice to create a valuable beef animal, but I'm cautious about using beef over the cows we don't want replacements from because you can get huge calves. We had used Hereford previously but had got frustrated with the quality of the markings on some of the easier calving bulls. Beef farmers only want calves with good frames and good markings, so we decided to give short gestation Belgian Blue a try and see how it goes. This year we had 20 cows pregnant to Belgian Blue. As I approached the first of the cows to calve to Belgian Blue, I got a sinking feeling that something wasn't quite right. The calf was either dead or not long for this world.
You're not particularly happy about things, are you? Why is he so dopey? It was really good news to get a bull calf. It might be upsetting to feminists, but bull calves are much more sought after in the beef industry than heifers, and as such attract a premium price over their female counterparts. I had some concerns about this calf's will to live, so I left him with his mum for several hours to see if she could work her magic and get him to reconsider his attitude to life. Turns out it did the trick, and when we went back he had had a change of heart and was doing really well. Holy heck, he's a big boy. Well, he's not really. Just move away.
Transitioning cows from their dry period to peak lactation is something we take really seriously. It is the most vulnerable period of the year for our cows, and if it's done badly it can create poor outcomes that result in lower fertility, weight loss, metabolic disease and poor performance after calving. I even think the way you transition cows has a big impact on the health and vitality of the calves. Once we start calving, our springing mob goes behind the milkers. So we graze a paddock with the milkers, who take the best grass out, and the springing mob goes in behind the milkers and cleans up the rest. This helps to reduce the amount of fresh grass the springers are eating. We then fill them up with lots of hay and a little bit of silage, which has their springers mineral mix soaked into it.
Are Frisians more miserable than Dutchies?
I think so.
A very miserable Frisian man's mixer wagon, a second-hand bucket and a very old wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, cool.
So that's quite simple. It's finished.
Molasses has come all the way through the bale, and this is quite dry baleage, so it's not moisture from the grass, it's actually molasses. You can tell by the colour, so that means that the minerals have come through really evenly right to the very base of the bale. Big load. Will you count them? It's 5. Hang on, I'm gonna take them over here where the mums can see them, and one of them is asleep on the floor, and then the one in the corner, because their mummy's here. Get that one in the corner first. Yep. Move him. Yep, push him out. That little one. Tell him to hurry up, he's got to go back to his mum. Hang on.
To many
Hang on,
farmers, this might seem like a lot of work and double handling, but when it is possible to do so, we like to park our ambulance at the top of the cliff. We draft our cows away from the mob when they are getting close to starting calving. It gives them a chance to eat and settle before the big job. During springtime, getting a good night's sleep without worrying what commotion you might need to unravel in the morning is so important. There is a very wise ancient proverb, happy wife, happy life. So while I'm enjoying an uninterrupted night's sleep, Urian is booted out of bed to check any cows that might be on the job during the night and to do any drafting when it is needed. Then in the morning we move any calved cows to a fresh paddock with their calves. It allows these freshly calved cows all day to fill up, and you can observe their behaviour for any signs of problems. We find the calves come in really clean with full bellies of their mum's top quality colostrum. Giving the calves time to feed off their mothers is not only good for the calves' immunity, but we find it also has a big impact on how well the cows transition into lactation.
To learn where the fences are, don't they? They have to learn to put the brakes on.
The cows calved really quickly this year, and it didn't take long before the calf shed was starting to get too full. So once the calves were about a week old, we started moving them outside into the paddocks permanently.
There's a bit of a trash.
Yeah. You do the mating, and the calf has to light you up. So you can have a bad mating, or what we might consider a bad mating, and it still surprise you a little bit. But generally, you can tell something in the first week. Yeah. So and that's what when I was just working with straight jerseys, is that you'd have some calves that it was just obvious, like that one, that Anthony's favourite one. Who's her mum?
38.
So 38 times a licks, and that's lined up to zippy.
It's a licks out of a zippy, and then a tremendous big Frisian.
Yeah.
So
But when that calf was born, it was very much to the round side, like small and round, but it was vigorous as hell. And if I look at her now as a heifer, I don't know what her udder's going to be like in 2 or 3 or 4 years' time. I'm pretty impressed with that. I can live with that. Because that's the other thing, like, you can go too small in our shed. We can't change our shed. So
no, you don't want them to stand too much forward, and you just have the reeds.
And so.
But we have now an opportunity to go 50-50, and then we go to 75-25, so 25% Jersey. Puts the components up and use high component bulls. Keep the others good.
August was a game of two halves. The first half was fantastic weather for calving, and more than 50% of the herd had already calved by the 14th of the month, in reasonably dry conditions. The second half of August it started raining and really didn't stop, but the grass growth for the month was some of the best I had ever seen, so we were able to keep the cows and calves moving onto clean pastures whenever it was needed. rainy period in August hit, we had all our replacement heifers outside in the paddocks. These youngest calves' ages ranged from 1 week to 2 weeks old. It is certainly tempting to have them tucked up inside in these conditions, but the problem is that when the calves hit about a week old, they get the munchies big time and want to eat and chew everything. They especially love eating dirt. I have come to think it has something to do with inoculating the rumen, so if they don't have dirt to eat, they start eating their bedding. Calves are unlike humans in that their bedding is also their toilet. So even though the weather is horrendous, I still have them outside because calf sheds are the perfect environment for pathogens. We treasure the hedges on this farm and can offer protection for every wind direction. I feed them 3 litres of stored colostrum twice a day so they have plenty of energy to weather the storm. August is the one month of the year when I sometimes think about how nice it would be to have the cows in a barn being fed TMR. To be able to handle the stresses of pasture farming in poor weather conditions, you do need to become comfortable with managing the imperfect.
Yeah, I'm going to let them through now.
Heavy persistent rain makes the pasture utilisation poor, so to achieve acceptable intakes we have to keep the cows moving onto clean pastures. At this time of the year, I never hesitate to add hay and silage when needed, which helps keep them settled and ruminating. The last thing we want to do is to put too much pressure on these freshly calved cows because that will affect their health and overall performance.
What can you see out there, Anthony?
A rainbow, and it's red and blue and purple.
Hey, there's actually 2 rainbows. See? Can you see them? And then our cows are right in the middle of a rainbow. Do you think that's good luck?
Where can you see another rainbow?
See? If you look at out there, there's a really strong one and then there's a little one on the side. That's a really good rainbow. So these guys have left a fair amount behind, but they don't look too stressed out because it was very wet this morning when we shifted them, wasn't it?
Sticky wet now.
Yeah. Some of those heifers up there seem to think he's a pretty good looking bull.
Those 2.
Yeah, look at them. What are these guys up to? They ate most of the hay. I don't think they want to go to the shed.
Some do. Some are
I thought that they might want to go and have some meal. But they just want to bitch around. What do you think of that black heifer?
that one.
Yeah,
Was a little bit of white.
109.
Was that 109?
Yeah, the black one. She's
That one.
yeah, she's walking. It's fairly sensational. Sort of an udder.
Some do want though.
They're on their way now.
Hey,
The herd is on the move.
one is.
This is Flecky. That's Pappy's favourite cow, Flecky. Come, ladies.
So ladies, here comes the Roy. Ladies. Ladies! Mama! Ladies! Mama! What is it? Come on, dear.
Come on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just be careful. Just leave it to me, okay? Because if they kick, no, Anthony, if they kick the gate, do you know what's going to happen? Boom. Anywhere.